guess that's time to start doing something. My name's Lane. I don't really know what I'm doing. What's up, y'all? Folks of the YouTube world. My name is Lane. This is going to be my channel, Little Luck Garage. Why that name? I don't really know. I figure it doesn't really matter how good of a mechanic you are or aren't. At the end of the day, sometimes it just comes down to a little luck. So I tossed around the idea of kicking around a YouTube channel here. I think a lot of us have in the automotive world. I finally decided to go ahead and do it. So I did start filming. I got a camera and all that stuff. But as I'm editing this video, I'm realizing I didn't really film an intro, you know? So I kind of just, I don't know, start wrenching and stuff. So I figured I'm gonna do a little bit of an intro. This first video, I don't know what I'm doing. You're gonna hear me say that a lot because it's true. I have no idea what I'm doing. So this first video is probably gonna be super choppy. Bear with me. Hopefully the content's at least decent enough-ish. Let me know. Yeah, to get started, I realized I didn't introduce the car a whole lot. So it's gonna look a little different in the video in just a second, but I have a 1967 Ford Fairlane Ranchero. You know, it's one of the special model years. It has a 390 big block with a automatic trans. I believe it's a C6. It was like the best year for it. They put the biggest motor in it. That little thing right there is putting out from the factory, you know, from the factory. She was rated at like 325 horse ponies and like 427 torques, you know. So she's gonna scoot a little bit, maybe. So in this, we got a lot of stuff coming up with this. I got a lot of videos on this, putting this thing back together. I'll tell a story a little bit here and there, and maybe at one point I'll do just a full story on the car, but we're about to dive in. Essentially this first video, I guess, is gonna be, it's been off the road since at least 2010. This is 2012, so at least 12 years. It was parked after a carburetor fire. I don't know, can we get it running? Let's find out. Here is a 1967 Ford Ranchero. It's got one of the specialty 1 year only deals. It's got Traegers that are probably impossible to find, possible to replicate the ugliness, but she's got, you know, a little bit of stuff going on. She does have a few speed holes, you know, in there. Now, let me take off the hood. Pop the hood. So there was a, got a little warm for a second. You know, just meh. Whatever. So yeah. I got a Ford for the first time in my life, and it's this one. Well, it's been a couple days for me. Probably only a second or two for you. Anyways, I was working on this Ranchero, you know, taking off the starter. Turns out that good old FE Fords, it's a nightmare. Had to take off that exhaust, this header completely off, and only barely was able to get the starter off. You know, we had some words were exchanged, and oops. So the starter that I thought I had for it too, it's definitely not the right one. So it's been a couple days because I had to order another starter. Went with a mini starter, like a more modern style, and spent twice the money, purely because of how much of a nightmare it was to get out of that tiny little space. So it being so much smaller, I'm hoping. Oh, that it's easier. But we'll see. I'm about to do that, you know, right about now. Not that excited, but I do want to hear this motor make some noise. So I think, should I do a time lapse or something? I don't really know how to work this stuff, so. I'm really bad at this. You know, I think I was doing some time lapses. It's the next day from the time lapses of trying to get that starter in. I only had to do it like 483 times with re-shimming it and reclocking it every single time. Trying to do what the directions said, but last time I listened to directions. So I ended up getting this new starter. When I got it finally clocked the right way after 38 tries, I then was able to figure out the right, I don't know, orientation so that the starter does not hit the exhaust and fits in there. However, once I had it with a shim so that it would fit in the block, the starter was missing and it wasn't shimmed correctly, so I had to take that shim out. Ended up having to trim off the ear of the block. Really shave this down a good amount to get that clearance right there. And I also had to shave a little bit of the starter on the other side because this bolt would only get in with this when it wouldn't slide in here. You have to like clock the starter with the bolt already in there and then tighten it up. So I just ground it down a little bit on the other side. You can't see it, but now the bolt can slide in and out. Anyway, got it all in there. So now I think what we're gonna do, set the camera up, hit a jump box real quick and see if it works. And then maybe we'll try to make some noise. Okay. All right, trust the jump box. Hobo Freight Special probably, I don't remember. Get the loser switch hooked up. The spark plug wires are still off right now, because right now I just want to hit the starter real quick and make sure that, you know, the motor turns over and stuff. That'd be good. I'm pretty sure it does. I've moved it a little bit by hand, but only just enough to make sure that it wasn't like stuck, so I want to make sure it actually, you know, rotates. That'd be nice. Please roll over. That's not good. Something's just getting really hot and smoky down there. To turn over a little bit. That's probably bad. You know? I hope the motor's not just like tight, because it turned for a second. The jump box is a little dead. Maybe that doesn't have enough juice. Let's try it. I don't really know. But it seems like the battery's very dead. And I really don't think that this is going to work. Well, I think I'm going to put this battery on boil and make sure that I don't just have a dead jump box. And yeah, we'll see what happens there. Well, the starter kind of works. You know, turned it over a little bit until the motor stops. And I just found out that there's a tight spot in the motor. So it rolls just fine and then abruptly stops. Seems like something's hitting. So guess I'm gonna take the valve covers off. Great. This motor was supposedly running, you know, it's been a while, I guess, but it's been in a garage. But I had a little carb fire, and so they, you know, just parked it. And he was working on other stuff. Maybe there's something else going on. Gotta have a stuck valve or something. Gotta be. Come on. Get out of there. Okay, that's fun. You know. Get out of there, little guy. Let go, dude. Maybe I should put the camera somewhere where y'all can maybe see too. I don't know. How about? I don't know, man. Like, you want to stay there, camera, or that's probably fine. I mean, it's crusty, but it don't really look bad. Let's do the old valve check. Really looks better on small block Chevys, but I mean, none of these look bad. Why is it tight? Okay, this doesn't look great. You know, little chunks of stuff. But when I try to roll the motor, it abruptly stops. Guess I'm gonna take off the other side. Dude, this is so annoying. You hate it when the screws get stuck in your dealio? You know, the nuts in the socket. Yeah, that's that part. Good one. That one's just really strange. That just really rounded that one off. That's super fun. That's really cool that happened. Very small. Whatever, that's all. You know, it looks pretty similar. No signs of immediate damage. Why is it, it's almost like there's something in the cylinder or something. This is great. I want to put something on that crank. Oh yeah, that's fine. So, these have escalated extremely heavily, not in my favor. Something is apparently something is in the combustion chamber somewhere preventing the piston from fully rotating. Initially, when I first saw this car, I had made sure that it turned, but I didn't do a full rotation. Always do a full rotation. Had I done that, I would have realized it turns over so far and then there's a hard stop. Yeah. So, yeah, I really don't want to pull the heads off. That opens a big old can of worms. Already seeing these push rods, you know, I don't love them. Like, I don't want to take that stuff off, have one bent, and then end up in a situation where I got to, you know, pay money for crap when I could put go fast parts in it, but I can't put go fast parts in it because I'm broke. So, you know, what I'm figuring here is I don't have a bore scope. That'd be nice. What I'm thinking here, maybe I'm gonna rotate it off where right now it's stuck. So I'm gonna back it off just a bit the other way because it turned real nice the other way. And then I'm gonna pull the plugs and see if I can't maybe stick a Go-Go Gadget magnet in there and get super lucky. Maybe only have something that I can catch and pull out. Who knows? You can't really get lucky if you don't try, right? So I'm just gonna see crank. Is it that one that was? Let me get the other one. That way seems kind of hard. I ain't buzzing that way. How about the other way? So I'm just gonna back it up just a little bit. Just like that. And now maybe whatever's holding it is free. So in theory, in a perfect world, I can just grab whatever it is, pull these plugs. God almighty. I have way too many Okie-dokies on it. What else is new? Holy Toledo. Did I like not break it loose the first time? Like what? Well, got some crusty there, but inside, I mean, it looks good. A little black, but honestly, it looks like it was burning. Fine. Doesn't look like it was running on most, to be honest. Which is in line with what I've heard on this car. Oh, Toledo. What? Will you just twist out of there? My hands have been cramping like crazy. I guess I'm not getting enough of the potassiums. I mean, again, you see a little bit of just like something was leaking, maybe some moisture or something into like on top of the, you know, the here where it sits on the head, but it wasn't getting past it. And honestly, timing is off a little bit, but it's running fine. Looks like it's running fine so far. So again, the story is that it's running fine. Oh. Until that hurt a lot. There was a little carb fire, but it had like just an OEM junk Winchester or something. I don't even know. I don't remember. It's over there. But it was all burnt and whatever. And when they put it out, they just, you know, parked it or were working on other things. But my fear is, how did they put it out? See, this one came out a little wet around the threads there. Inside though, super black. Honestly, it looks like this cylinder might not have been firing. And then the compression check, I don't see a burn mark, you know. See the number 3, I don't know how Fords go, 1, 2, 3. So what is it? 1, 2, yeah, 1/5. Number 3 cylinder. That's gonna have a question mark on it. When you pull your plugs out, at least ideally you'd number or something like that, but at least put them in order. You need to know what plug came from where. Holy mercy. Oh, Toledo. Come on. I don't want to, you know, break myself here. We're good. See, that one has a burn mark on it. Again, it looks fine. Number 3 cylinder almost looks like it wasn't firing though, so we'll see about that. What I'm going to do now is, ever so gently, I should see if it turns over. And I will do that. Now it doesn't have plugs, I shouldn't change that. Maybe turn over easier, but now I'm going to see if I can't. If I just get super lucky, maybe. I'm going to stick this down in there. And I guess in the meantime, you know, just pulling out any crud that would fall in, I suppose. Just kind of stick it in there and wiggling it around a little bit. I don't know what I'm expecting here. Certainly never done this before. That's actually true. I've done some sketchy shit, but I've never done this one. See, this one can't really get in there, so maybe that piston is closer. Sure wish I had a bore scope. Yeah, see, I haven't pulled out a lot of shavings. A lot of metal crusty stuff. That's kind of interesting. You know, I'm also very much assuming if there is something in there, it's something small that'll come out through spark plug hole. I don't know. I'm just, maybe this will get me closer to diagnosing. You know what I'm saying? Well, I cheated a little bit. Mostly because I'm still just really bad at this whole, like, oh yeah, I should probably film thing. You know? Maybe that'll stay. No, probably not. Maybe will you stay there? Will you, if I move this, will you go there? Maybe? Or no? Would you? Oh, come on. I don't feel super comfortable about that, but no, that's terrible. This camera's expensive, you know? That's better. All right. So, you know, it's the end of the day now. It's been 6 hours or so since I squirted that, since I scored a PB blaster down this, but then I grabbed the torque wrench, whammed it against that stuck spot quite a bit, but then I started to, so maybe I'll go the other way. So I grabbed the ratchet, turned it, and I think we might be onto something here, y'all. I don't know for sure, but I got kind of excited for a second and then remembered that I wasn't filming and probably should do so. But I think, y'all, we might have pushed past that stuck, whatever was stuck. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think we're maybe in the territory where we hook up the jump box and see if it spins. Because I think it's gonna go all the way around, you know? I think we might be past that situation. I guess let's hook a jump box to it. Okay, I don't know why it's not staying. Whatever. Let's, I don't know. You know? Ooh. Look at all this awesome stuff coming out of there. We just got compression. Well, you know, that looks delicious. How about the side over there? What's it look like over here? You know, all the rocker things are doing the rocker thing. I mean, is there a reason why I shouldn't put plugs in it and see if it'll make noise? You know, maybe. Let's I want to make sure everything's at least done blowing crud. Not. Please tell me it's not enough fuel. I mean, technically the fuel line is hooked up. I shouldn't have had that like that. But don't worry. There's no fuel coming out of there. We're fine. Okay, well. I mean, I guess let's put some plugs in. It was stuck a minute ago. All day, rather. So when you have a stuck engine, it's not like it can really, you know, yes, it can get worse. I don't want to say it. But just saying, it's already kind of bad, right? It's worse like that. I don't want to say it. I take it back. I take it back. Please be nice. Still gonna ponder why that number 3 cylinder was oily when it came out, and it seemed like the spark plug maybe wasn't firing. We'll address that later. I know, I just think it'd just be really cool to hear this thing maybe make some noise. I mean, I can't really. Was it stuck? Is it stuck if it doesn't do a full 360 rotation? Is that a stuck motor, or is that just a motor with a tight spot? Like, would not push through. You can get to it either direction, but it would not go through it. I guess that's just a motor with a tight spot, huh? No, it's stuck. And I'm okay with that. I'm not trying to say that it wasn't fully stuck. Just had a tight spot. I still don't know if it's gonna run, but it does say it's a tight spot. I'm gonna oversell here. You know, if I don't even start a YouTube channel, or like if I do, you know, and like nobody watches it, at least it kind of justifies me. At least I don't feel so bad talking to myself. At least I can say there is a camera there. I guess probably gonna hopefully edit a lot of this and speed it up, because I'm not used to talking, or if I am, it's just, you know, the random cuss words here and there. It's weird actually having to maybe say my thoughts. Still not convinced anyone wants to know that. Yeah, I should probably put new plugs in, and I will. I just want to hear this thing make noise. Good, somewhat decent noise, better-ish. What's up, folks? Hi. Is anyone there? All right. Let me just. How's this gonna work? Are we gonna do something here? How about up here? All right. You guys. Probably not. Maybe if I do this. That's okay. No, it isn't. I don't know. Okay. All right. Well, pretty sure I fried the coil. Never start. Maybe it will today. Okay. The key is there and the ignition and all that stuff, but it's taken apart. I should probably show you, but any hazards. some of the stuffs are kind of unplugged, and I don't know if I want to plug that in yet, but I'm thinking I might have to, because somehow this ignition thinks something's not hooked in and pluggy thingy, which is why I'm hot wiring the coil. But either way, find a new coil. Car Quest. Should be fine. I'm pretty sure it'll work. When I work on all the stuff that I've worked on, it's almost, I mean, I've worked on a little bit of everything, sure, but predominantly, if it's like my own stuff, or if I'm doing performance stuff, whatever, it's always been Chevy. So I know that it's still American made and you're supposed to use, you know, SAE and all that stuff, but I always use metric. I started wrenching on small engines, specifically like old dirt bikes and stuff. We used to we had like a junkyard, we'd take like, you know, a couple broken down bikes from the 70s or whatever, put them together and make one running one. But anyways, I learned on metric, and so I always know the metric equivalent to everything, and it's just fine on Chevy, but apparently not so much on Mopar or Ford. I'm excited, guys. Give me a break. I got an idea. Oh yeah. Hook the leads on, dummy. Where's that spinny bolty thing that was on there? There it is. Oh, that's not going to cinch it down. Okay, that's going to require more effort, but I'll cinch that up later. Coil's on, keys off. Let's slap this in here. See which one switch this around here, I think. That seems more better, because this will reach easier. Draw. It's quite fun. I'm gonna lose or switch. Different uses for these things, and you know, I've had a dozen of these guys. Loser switch, you know, I'm a Lone Wolf 3000, I think is what the old VGG calls it. I don't know, I like loser switch, or I don't have any friends. One of these guys. Anyway, when I had to move and get rid of all my stuff, I ended up. Whoa! That's grounded. Oh, it's hot already. That's right. Why did I center one too many hard times on this guy? Got to readjust her mouth. There it is. go. All right, I'm going to finish hooking up the coil. Finish hooking up the coil. No, I had it right the first time. Well, there's my click. Goodness. Well, I'm gonna test for sparking so I won't. But let's turn the key on. I want to see if the key works, so I don't have to bypass it potentially. I might have to start plugging things in, but we'll get there. Key's on, so there's power to it. All right, I'm not gonna try to start yet with that, but the power there. I'm not gonna bypass that. Let's see if it's putting power to this coil. Test for the old sparkage. Oh yeah, right away, for sure, sparkage there. Okay, let's go ahead and hook that up. Now we got the old Fuel Mover 3000. Not really. It's more like the Fuel Mover 100 that I happened to find laying around in the shop, and that thankfully works. That's really all that matters. So I took it and wired a few clippies on it real quick like. So now I can make a makeshift fuel system. I don't have a boat tank yet, but I do have a 1 gallon gas tank filled with a gallon and a half of fuel probably. And we're gonna stuff some fuel line in there. Now, hopefully that'll work. These things aren't the best suckers, they're better pushers. I know that'll work. We're gonna see what happens here. If there's any water in that, that's gonna spew it that way, and I don't want that to happen. All right, let's hook up the fuel pumper 3000 to make the thingy happen. Let's pump some fuel. That's worse. Ready, set, go. Stop with the fuels for now. What's going on here? Let's plug in. Nothing. What's that about? The bowl should be full. Maybe that wasn't doing anything. We're not getting any fuel up here. It's just not primed, huh? Just having a hard time sucking. I gotta do my fuel system here. Help it out a little bit better. All right, maybe now we can get some fuel. That's fine. Oh, now it's getting fuel. It's, you know, that just did the gravity feed, so I just dumped. That's cool. That's awesome. All right. Okay, that's wonderful. Well, if I haven't said it 1,000 times yet, I'm an idiot. So that was just an epic fail that I primed the fuel pump. I thought because I didn't have it running that, oh, it's not gonna start, flowing, whatever. Wrong. Started flowing, dumped a bunch of fuel everywhere. So I, put a bunch of fans on it, eliminated that, use a couple other things, water to wash it out, mix it. I try to get as much vapor as I could out, and then I let it sit for a couple hours so it doesn't smell like fuel anymore. And just real care. So I think we're okay now, but that wasn't that cool. You got good squirters there. Turn the key on. All right, it's got fuel. I'm not gonna hook up the fuel pump yet because I think it's primed and just don't really know what's gonna happen yet. Backfired on me once before. I don't want to start a fire here, but let's see. He's on. I'll kill it with this if I need to. Okay. 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 Off the backfire ridge. Don't really know what that's about. I don't really want to light stuff on fire. Okay. So she's backfiring a lot. But hey, fellas, it'll run. I really, truthfully need to finish tuning with this carburetor a little bit. I kind of slapped it together and wanted to see if it was going to bark off. I'm pretty sure that I've got some stuff not hooked up right. It shouldn't be backfiring like that, and I don't think it's 180 out. Could be. Guess I should check the firing order. I don't know it on a Ford, so. But I mean, I don't even have all the linkage hooked up. I need to just. It's what I really should do. I do care about this car, and I want it to be something, so maybe, I don't know. But hey, it's making the right noises. Maybe we'll try it once more and just see if it's just gonna continue to backfire or what's up. Okay, so that's just wicked vacuum leaks. Fellers, it runs. All right, I plugged off some of them vacuum leaks that were there. That might have been causing the massive backfires. Plug those vacuum lines, or the things on the thing that makes it, have vacuum leaks, that part. Let's see if that makes it not backfire so much. I don't know what that is. I mean, you'd obviously think timing, but I don't really know that yet, so let's see. I do think the timing's off. But I do need to check the firing order too. But I very well might have something swapped here. All right, well, it's the next day. I think I did a little bit of stuff after I stopped filming last night, and then I tinkered around a little bit this morning, so I'll just kind of catch you up. It ended up there being a tight spot in one of the cylinders because some fire extinguisher stuff was put down there, best I can assume. So I had to get it a little bit unstuck, but I did. Got it turned over just fine with a new starter, which was a nightmare. Anyways, got to here. This is a random Holley 600 that I got locally. that a guy sold saying that it needed to be rebuilt. And so I slapped it on immediately and got it to bark off a little bit. And I've since rebuilt it. I didn't film it, but it was my first time doing a Holly, and you know, done L-Brox, but you know, it's a little different. So I think it's mostly somewhat tuned-ish, kind of. Well, I've got updates, and I didn't feel like I needed to film you all so y'all could see me fumbling my way through some stuff. See which way? Must not have learned that well, because taking the carb off again. Hopefully for the last time. Get out of there. Get out of there. Please. Thank you. Need that. So, see if I can catch up a little bit. I think y'all have seen it run, and I've had it run a couple more times off camera with a couple different setups. But I kept having a really bad vacuum leak, and I was just really not feeling good about the carburetor setup I had on it, because it needed to be rebuilt. That's how I bought it. And I kind of sort of put enough together to where I felt like I could make it run, and that's where I left it. So I since went and redid it a bit. Maybe y'all can see me. I don't know if y'all can or not. Wave, you can see me. Oh, okay. You're alone. But redid a couple things, swapped bollards, guys here around a couple different times here, this and that. I think I got things where I wanted. It wasn't working right? I don't know if I can necessarily explain it to you, because I don't fully know if it necessarily was or wasn't. It's been a long time since I've seen one of these complete, and I don't have one to reference. But I did remember just now that I forgot 2 screws, so that's what I'm doing right now. But I ended up swapping bowls, putting Duke jets and stuff in the stuff that I didn't touch the first time around. I went through and read some instructions and watched a couple of YouTube videos and whatnot, because I wanted to feel good about at least having it set properly for its first setup. So I went through and put all gaskets, just made sure that, you know, all the floats are going to be somewhat adjusted right off the bat, at least somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe close-ish, you know? Yeah. But that's only one thing that's going on here. There's other stuff. The firing order, when I first messed with it and first got it to bark off, the firing order was way off. So I ran the firing order, or redid it I should say, and it worked a lot better, way less backfires, but it was still running kind of funny. Like it would only run at like, I don't have a tack setup, but I don't know, above 2,000, 2,500, something like that. Good amount of RPM, and when it would try to come down, it would just backfire and die. Honestly, I was kind of thinking the timing might be 180 out. Well, tried the firing order, looked at a couple different diagrams and whatnot, and when I finally set it at TDC, number 1 was over here, and the rotor was pointing the opposite way. So I'm gonna be at, this is where, you know, I didn't film a lot. I had to go learn a lot because I've been doing LS's, electronic stuff. for the most recent years. It's been a while since I've messed with timing and carburetors and stuff. And even at that, my experience has not been extreme hands-on. You know, I've learned a lot since then, so I know how to do it now. Whereas before, when I was more familiar with the internals of them, I didn't really know what I was doing. All this is to say, I didn't feel confident. It was a weak point, so I had to go do some research and do it a couple times. I usually learn by doing and messing up, and so, you know, I did that a few times. That's what I'm saying, off camera. So now, I'm more comfortable failing again. You know, we'll probably see me mess up a couple more times, but at least this time I feel better about it, if that makes sense. Because now I at least put a decent amount of effort. I at least can say I tried and did what I thought was right and best inside this carburetor to get an initial adjustment. But what I didn't do, that's caught up now, right? What I didn't do though is pull this distributor and set the timing, because I believe it's 180 out. But it's also got a real basic dizzy and coil. And the coil keeps getting super hot. I think it's got a bad ground. And this is old anyways, you know. So I did a thing. The Jungle Amazon thing, special. It was like a $90, you know, transaction that I didn't have, money that I didn't have to spend. But, you know, if you're gonna at least spend money that you don't have, at least make it the cheapest possible thing available, right? Perfect. But got me one of them cheapo one wire HEIs. They're really cool. Unpack distributor carefully and inspect it for possible shipping damage. Checked. Inspect again after removing the cap. Checked again. The distributor to be easily installed in the same position. It says to mark the distributor so that you can put the new one in the same position. Well, that's where I'm going to have to go away from the instructions, because, fellers, the one that's in there is not right. So I got the motor at TDC. I should set this somewhere where I'm not going to break it, you know. There was another part that you could order with it. It was like a little plug deal. I was like, I don't need that where we're going. I think I need that where we're going. Yep. There's a project car sitting behind you that I might start robbing parts off of. That might happen, but not at the moment. First things first, we need to take off this old system here. Say farewell, sayonara. Thank you for, I guess trying. You sucked the whole time though, but you know, there's that. Where's the flathead? Jimmy the flathead. Where's Jimmy the flathead? Jimmy. That's not Jimmy. It's the word for the saying Jimmy. You gotta take the flathead, y'all. They were hard to come by for a little while, and I don't want to go buy a flathead. Like, why would you do that? But at the same time, when you find a good one, you know, the one that I currently can't find, it's probably over here. Jimmy! I was just using it on these carbonator guys, and I put them over here. I put those tools right here, so it's got to be right here. Jimmy? Where's Jimmy the flathead? Jimmy the flathead. I'm done letting him out of my life. My favorite flathead. There he is. He just fell down. He's hiding from me. There's Jimmy. Your trusted flathead. Well, See, now that's better, because before, maybe the timing's not 180 out. It's definitely at on my mark I made. Maybe when I did it before, I actually set the timing. Who would have thunk that? Still, maybe if I did do something right, maybe I will mark it. Mark where it is. All right, well, I got updates. That fell. I got more updates. Got the blue thing installed. I did have to move a couple things around. I just didn't film this because I was learning as I went, and mostly it was just me swearing and stuff. But I had to move some bracketries around, some hose, little lizer guys. And I had said, oh, well, maybe I need a plug or something like that, and that's not, I don't. So this is a true one wire. A little plug, it plugs into itself or what have yous. And then there's two leads right here, a tack and a battery, and they're just male little plug layers. So I took the one from the battery and found the wire from the harness that is hot with ignition. Used a little voltage regulator dealio, did that. Now, I had a thought that maybe this thing was 180 out in timing, and it still might be. I put it back in there similar to what it was, but I also changed some things in the carburetor, or maybe perhaps fixed some things up there in the carburetor. We don't know yet. So this is kind of like a, you know, should have probably tried to fix one thing, instead tried to fix like 17 million. And now we're gonna try to test the fix and see which one worked. Yeah, I don't know. The vacuum advance is not, or it's plugged, I should say. I had to make some new plug wires because once I got the new distributor installed, that is when I realized that the old wires had wrong booter guys. So I had to make my own ones of them. That was fun. Or not at all. It was terrible, actually. But I made the marks for where roughly the timing was at, which I don't even think was right to begin with, but here we go. I am gonna set the timing here, but first I'm gonna see if it'll bark off. I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen just yet, so see if it'll bark off, put some fuel in the bowls. It's probably a good place to start, because I've had some trouble with, you know, even getting fuel in the bowls. A little bit. How about here? It's probably a bad spot to put it. What if I tie it down? Yeah, it makes me feel better. Sure. That's not good. What if I do this over here? This is gonna work. Yeah, sure, that's better. Okay. Maybe that'll feed its feed. Okay. I'm dropping stuff. I want to take the clickety clack. Fuel make it happen at 100. Apparently, I stripped off one of my alligator clips. That's a bummer. Might have to find that real quick. Where'd you go? Hey. You fall down? Where did you fall down to? Did you go down here? Where'd you go? Oh, hey, look, here it is. That's handy. Man, I'm gonna have to fix that. I'll just use a spare one for now. Oh, that's sketchy. Maybe if I fold it over, it'll be less sketchy. Yeah, sure. That would have been better. I should have just flipped it around. I'm an idiot. Okay, I'm gonna just fill the, maybe prime the pump and see what happens here. I hear bowl fillage. I mean, I only see a little bit of a lot of leaks. Is it just this guy? Oh, that's probably just all it was. maybe that'll fix it. You gonna hold now? Or do I need to put like a new gasket on there? Oh, it's just, yeah, it's puking. Puking out that bowl. Yeah, that gasket's not doing very good gasket things. I don't really want it to backfire and stuff because it's been doing that and I'm messing with timing, so I'm probably gonna go put in a gasket on that and I'll just be right back with y'all fellers. Tighten the thing and hit it with some more fuel and it seems to hold a little bit, but bowls are fuel, squirters are working. I think one of the squirters is leaking profusely, so I might have to, they might have ate a washer or something. Or maybe I can just tighten it because it was, let's see what happens. Fire in the hole. Well, it's almost like it doesn't like timing or something. I need to see what's going on with that header down there. I mean, it's running and idling on its own, so hey, that's good. But did I not hook up exhaust or? No. There's some exhaust bolts that I forgot to tighten apparently. I can see a big old gap there. That's probably not the best. You know, I should probably tighten those. Just because, you know, most of the exhaust was coming out of down, yeah, that was the worst exhaust I've ever seen in my life. Should have maybe hit the timing though too. It'll probably be okay. Let's fire back up and see if I can't see what's going on with this timing. Got a lot of things to be hooking up here and I'm not digging it. I'm gonna prime the bowls again, but I'm not gonna leave the fuel pump on. Just gonna fill them up a little bit. That was a good ground. You stay like there. All right, let's see what happens. Ran out of fuel. Having a hard time getting a decent reading, but hey y'all, I can't, you know, read it's flickering. I should probably just hook up the fuel because it's, you know, it's running all right. Let's just put some fuel to it and quit being a sissy about it, huh? Sound was, but that sounded pretty awful bad. So I'm gonna let it cool down a little bit. That was some like detonation, real bad in the one of the cylinders. I'm gonna do a little bit of investigation and I'll get back with you. Well, you know, it's the next morning. Okay. It wasn't really that late when I stopped filming yesterday, but I kept tinkering a little bit and then I got distracted. Okay. But I've been working a little bit this morning. You know, I didn't film, but it was just tidying up some stuff. When we left last night, it was running, you know, seems kind of lazy. I have a feeling it's only running on 6 cylinders because I had to do new plug wires. I forgot to mention, had to make new plug wires from the old axle. Went and bought them from the local parts store, and you know, they came cut to fit, whatever, with boots on one end, and then you cut and put the whatever size you need there. Fine. Well, they only did 6 of them with boots. The straight boots on the other side, and then the extra 2 wires, there was no extra boots. So that's cool. Thankfully I had some around the shop, old boots or whatever, but I had the metal part inside. I had to kind of take a longer version of one of these guys and just kind of bend it and make it work, and it's not really grabbing the plug so well. So I'm curious if those ones are firing or not. But it sounded a little lazy, but it was running. So, but because it was running and I do intend to, you know, hopefully drive this car, and I need to move it somewhat soon, went ahead and put some of the stuff, accessories back on, bolted down the AC compressor, had to move some lines, what have yous. But got the belts back on, filled it up with coolant, proceeded to have something unplugged still and puke coolant everywhere. That's fine. But it's mostly topped off-ish with water. There was coolant still in the block, which is good. I have a feeling I'm gonna have some leaks here or there. When it gets fully pressurized, I'll get there when I get there. Right now I want to see if it'll just, I don't know, run, and then I couldn't see the timing marks last night. That's originally why I stopped filming, was I was having trouble seeing where the timing was at, and I need to get under and clean them up a little bit and mark, and still didn't find a silver Sharpie, so I have a black mark on the black crank, but it's clean now, so maybe I can see the timing marks a little bit, so I can try to set the timing, and let's see if it'll, you know, what's it gonna do, you know, let's find out. Still gonna be running my kill switch from there, although I'll have my loser switch started, but let's prime the fuel bowls a little bit here. No? Didn't I say go? Where's this guy? Oh, they're both going to power, that's why. Okay. I got too many of the pluggages over here. Oh, she got hot there a second. Bowls are already still kind of full. No leakages though, so far so goodish. See what happens here. Oh, forgot the squirters I think are too big, so that's fun. Down there, I'm gonna fix that one. You guys are probably watching that for a while. It's pretty significant, but it was coolant, so I wasn't super duper worried. I knew that right away, but yeah, it's leaking a lot. Should probably fix that. I mean, I did say I was gonna have a lot of coolant leaks, and I do remember not tightening this guy down, so that's fine. Now that I've, you know, successfully puked everything everywhere, let's see if that leak has slowed down at least, maybe. It's still leaking, it's still dribbling for sure. Fuel because the fuel pump wasn't hooked up. Oh, I got more leaks. Here's one too. Well, where's it leaking from? The top? Oh yeah, just the top. The plug's not holding. You know, I said I was gonna have some coolant leaks to figure out, and I didn't think I was gonna have this many, but still happy to be here. It's running, you know. So far, good-ish, kind of. When I made these plugs initially, I just took the very burnt hose, cut it to what I thought was decent-ish, and used that as plugs. And so, you know, I still have a lot of faith in any of these hoses, but if that's all that's stopping us from running it for a while, I'll put some hoses on it. Well, actually got the right marker, one that I could, you know, see. Got the timing set actually where I want it, about 10 degrees at least. Running a little bit better. It's doing temperature things, I think. Got another gauge, but anywho's and what? I'm getting a little rambly here. Having not completed and uploaded one video yet. This might be the first, we'll see. I don't know what I'm doing, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and end off this video here. We got a long way to go yet, but you know, will it start? Sure will. Gave us a little bit of fuss there, being, you know, had a tight spot, don't you know? But seems to have worked itself out pretty well. So anyway, hope y'all enjoyed some of that a little bit, maybe. Think it'll get better-ish, probably. Like, comment, that stuff, I think. Yeah, sure. Either who and where. Appreciate you watching Little Luck Garage. Because no matter how good of a mechanic you are or aren't, at the end of the day, it usually comes down to little luck. Thanks, y'all. Let me know if you want to see some more stuff. Catch you next time.